Hi guys, so this week I'm going to be posting a video about how to clean gunky red eyes. Let me grab my dog. This man has some terribly red eyes, and I gotta clean him once a week or so to get rid of those chunks and gunks, and I know a lot of people's dogs suffer from this, so just gonna explain a very simple way to fix that, or not fix it. You can't eliminate the problem, but you can reduce the amount of gunk using just a simple vinegar water mix and a toothbrush. You'll probably need some scissors and a brush, a regular hairbrush for your dog, and that's about it. Paper towels. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so you're gonna need a few supplies to do this. I have a pair of scissors to cut his eyes, the hair out of his eyes, a toothbrush, which I actually use to scrub his eyes. I have a regular wicker brush kind of thing, and I also have a flea comb for his eyes to get the gunk out of the corners. In this bowl, it's about a 50-50 mix of water and vinegar. You can adjust it slightly depending on how severe the smell is on his eyes, if you don't like the smell of vinegar too much, because the smell does linger a little bit on his face. And then I also have paper towels, because it's going to get wet in here. Alright, so first I'm just going to brush the fur out of his eyes and see how bad his face is. Come on, buddy. Okay. So this week, his eyes are not too bad. They're not too gunky. I'm still going to go in with the flea comb just in case, but they don't seem too bad. Sometimes there's big clumps of red pieces that come off. It's pretty nasty. Okay, so that's all that came off, just little chunks. So now that I did that, I'm going to brush his hair back. His eyes aren't too bad for his bangs. Sometimes I'll trim his bangs. I might do that at the end. But if his bangs get too long, that causes his eyes to turn more gunky and red. So I have to trim it a lot. I'm just going to mix this around a little bit. I use the big end just because it's easier, more surface area. But for smaller dogs, you could use the small end, like Yorkies or Chihuahuas. And I just dip it in here, scrub, 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 until I think it's pretty good. I brush through it to make sure there's no chunks still. Sometimes the flea comb isn't fine enough, depending on the type of hair your dog has. My dog has really, really fine hair, so sometimes it's hard to get all the gunk out of his eyes with just the flea comb. So I brush through it with the toothbrush, and then I go back to scrubbing the corners. And I try to get all the way down just to get the smell out too. His smell isn't too bad, but I know there are some, like Shih Tzus I've seen, that have really, really bad red eyes. And I'm just using my other hand to actually hold his beard so he doesn't move his face. It's not hurting him at all. He's used to this. He's almost 2, so it's been quite an adventure every week doing this. And when I'm dipping my comb or the toothbrush back into the water, I'm just doing that so that the red bits can come out into the water and it doesn't go back on his face. Another thing is, once you've crossed eyes, you don't want to go back to the first eye because that can cross-contaminate. Even though you do have a lot of vinegar in your solution, it's better not to. They get bacterial infections, and then you have to get medication because you can't get rid of it naturally. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so let's go. It's a paper towel. Now I'm going to use the same paper towel for both eyes. but I'm going to use different corners of the paper towel, so. Okay. And you just want to get the eyes as dry as possible. And it should reduce the redness significantly. Now, it won't get rid of it permanently, but if you keep up with it week to week, it'll reduce significantly. Sometimes I forget. But for the most part, I'm good with keeping up with it. And his eyes aren't too bad. Okay, that one's done. There we go. And this only takes about probably a total of 10 minutes to do. So it's not too long of a process either. Sometimes I put it off and procrastinate, and then I get to actually doing it, and it's like, oh, that was only 5-10 minutes long. Not too bad. Okay, perfect. Are you done? Oh, let me get the ends. Let me get the ends of your beard there, buddy. Okay, so now that all his hair is dry, before I send him on his way, I'm just going to make sure that I don't need to trim any of his facial hair. So it's significantly lighter. The redness didn't go away or decrease in the surface area of it, but the dark chunks and the really, really dark streaks are pretty much gone, and it's just a light pink now, browny pink. So usually I cut the corner of his eyes here, but I just did that last week, so it hasn't grown in quite yet. I would use these scissors, and sometimes if the streaks here are dark enough, I just back the fur up so it sticks up, go in, and chop it. But they're not too bad this week. I take a look at the bottom of his hairs to see if they're dark. They look pretty good. So I'm now just going to go back onto his face and see if his bangs are okay. Because I know they were hanging in front of his face quite a bit, so. Can you shake for me or no? You just want to get out, don't you? Alright, let's just try this on our own then. Okay, little chunk there. That should keep your eyes good. Oh, oh, oh. You're okay, buddy. I know. Oh, hair everywhere. Yes, that's yours. Okay. I'm just pulling his hair forward so that I can see the longer chunks. I'm cutting them. Back up, buddy. Back up. So, I pulled his hair forward, and you can see that here is a little long. Yep, that looks alright. I don't think this piece will come flying forward when you shake your head. So, alright. Looks good enough to me. You are free, boy. You're free. Yeah, that's right. You want to get out. Okay, thanks. Hi guys. Just to end this video, I took all my supplies and washed it out, sanitized it, threw out all the garbage, that good stuff, and I just want to say thank you for watching and comment if you have any suggestions for me, because this vinegar water solution works pretty well, but if there's anything else, I know sometimes I put hydrogen peroxide, I add a little teaspoon in there just to help if it's really, really red. That seems to do a pretty good trick, but I don't like to use it too much because it's a more harsh chemical than vinegar. Vinegar's pretty natural. But if you guys have any other suggestions for me, I would love to hear your comments, and if you could subscribe. I'm trying to upload every 2 weeks or so, trying to get into the habit of doing once a week. But yeah, we'll see. If you have any video suggestions too, that would be awesome. Anyway, thanks. See you next time.